Hello everyone, my name is Grayson and welcome to episode 2 of this tutorial series on Against the Storm, one of my very favorite games right now, one of the best city builder games I've ever played. If you missed episode 0 and 1, you're going to be a little bit lost, so make sure to check those out. In the meantime, we're going to continue with what we're working on. We are cutting into another glade. And where's our other woodcutter? Cutting into another small glade up here. We're trying to stick to the small glades, but this episode will probably get a dangerous glade opened up. Probably this one. I'll have a nice big space I can work with for an industry area. This isn't as good of a spot because I'd have to clear out all these trees and it would take probably a couple years, maybe more. So let's unpause here. We don't have a farm yet, but we do have a nice fertile land right here that we can make use of once we get a farm blueprint. I'll try to remember to explain, everything I'm doing as I go. We've got a fair number of builders. Everyone's homeless right now. And in fact, we're going to have a resolve problem once we get to the storm season, because we're going to lose 4 to global resolve for each hostility level. So that's going to be 8 that we're going to lose, and we're going to be at negative either, well, it might only be 4, but either way we'll be at negative here, so we have to fix the situation very shortly. So let's take a look at our industry options here. So we have a carpenter, we don't have any fabric, but leather worker, which can make fabric for us. We have an artisan. So we're going to need a little bit of fabric before we can start doing that, so we can build a crude workstation. This is a very inefficient structure for producing those things, but we only need a couple pieces of fabric. Actually 4, so we'll probably get the carpenter first. So the carpenter making planks is probably the most important thing, and then I would say bricks and fabric are about tied somewhere in there. If I can't get that up and running shortly, I'm going to have to start building basic shelters because that'll help their resolve problems. No one assigned here. Let's stick a harpy in there. Just start grabbing some of these resources slowly here. This is a nice fuel we can use in the fire. And it's also used in some types of crafting recipes. So I might actually tell it not to burn that. I actually might save the coal as well for now. We have lots of wood. We make so much wood in this map. Okay, so there's nothing super exciting in there. Let's head down here and get going into this dangerous area here. So I'm just going to carve out a nice path that's even with the road here. I like to usually kind of get this all mapped out a little bit ahead of time. Builders will just do that slowly. So we've opened up another glade over here. Again, roots and clay, very useful. Get some more packs of goods here. Let's see, we can build clothing. It'll give us a boost to our fabric production, give us some provisions, have roots, which will give us some beavers, some ale, and some planks. Keep humans happy, we'll get pies, coat production, and humans. Now, housing. Coat production is pretty good because we do want those for our people. So I'm tempted to go with either this one where we make coats and get bonus fabric, or this one where we make bonus coats. But I think I'll go with this one because we have a very efficient fabric recipe. I like this one. It's gonna be a little tougher to do. And then another order. This one will give us the tavern. So they want us to have a brewery and 35 ale. Did we pick up a brewery? No, we did not. So that one's a little dangerous. I might wait and see if we pick up a brewery through a new blueprint. Like, I don't have to pick this up yet. I just can't be working towards it until I pick up a quest. Okay, so this is done. So what I want to tell this to do is I only need 4 pieces of fabric right now. So I'm going to turn these off. I don't want them wasting resources on planks and bricks when I have more efficient recipes for them elsewhere. I just want a few pieces of fabric so I can build those better buildings. So I'm just going to stick like a couple people in here to get this done quickly, and then we're going to build something a lot more efficient. So they're going to go pick up the materials. Now she's crafting 2 pieces of fabric. We can also change the recipe around if we want to. Not picking up reeds or plant fibers. Let's actually take a look at that. So pause the game, hold B. Plant fibers, we are collecting. And we have roots. We don't have reeds. Yeah, so plant fiber is the only real choice I have. But I think I also get that from trees. Yeah, I have a small chance to get that from trees. So we'll have a constant but slow trickle of plant fibers to use for this. So they're each going to make 2. And then I'm just going to kick them out of here. I don't want them making any more. See, it rains so much that all the buildings use rain power. Okay, so I'm going to kick her out. I don't want her making more, because I know I have 2 in here now. And then he's going to make 2, and then I'm going to force delivery. There. So he's gonna pick that cloth up and take it home. And now we have it, so we're gonna kick him out of there. You can see that if I have him in here, they will display this idling status because they are only told to make fabric and only until there's 6 in the storage. So there's 4 in the storage. So there's 6 in the storage, so she's not going to do anything. If I were to turn one of these on, she would see now she wants to go collect things. But I don't want them making these. I don't need that. So we're just going to kick them out. So now that we have the 6 cloth in the inventory, we can make this carpenter and this leather worker. We have 4 pieces of fabric required for these 2, so we can start making planks and fabric. And then we don't have a way to make bricks yet, but that's okay. We will survive on the crude workstation. So let's unpause. Let's get this dangerous glade opened up and see what we have inside here. I might even grab this other woodcutter because we're gonna need to clear out some space around this area, so we actually have, like, there's not a lot of space to build houses and stuff, so I might just let this one just idly start clearing this area out. I'm not going to tell them what to do. So Scavenger's Camp has no deposits nearby, so they've emptied out a deposit. So what you can do is just click on that. It'll take you right to the building, and then you can just click move, and you can see around the edge of the screen it's highlighting where there are resources available. So I'm just going to take them on over to probably this closest one up here. More efficient this way. Just get the closer ones figured out, and then we'll also have this node sort of out of the way for building. So we want humans and humans to be happy. Okay, so we've got our first dangerous glade. Now you can see I think this is red here to indicate that it was a dangerous one. So we have dewberry bushes, roots, clay, fertile soil for farming. We have an abandoned cache, a tool shop, and a fallen beaver traders. So this is going to be, this is something you can open up for bonuses or reputation with the queen, and it takes tools or infused tools. These are very hard to come by. These are pretty darn hard to come by. So we're going to just leave this thing here. There's nothing bad about this. It just sits there until we deal with it. Same with this. This is a abandoned building, so it's destroyed by the storm, so we can either rebuild it and get a tool shop, which will build really efficient tools and also some barrels and water skins, or we can salvage it for tools and fabric. So in this case, I think we had access to, yeah, so you can see down here, it says right above where my mouse is, it says current best. So it's showing that this is going to produce better tools, more efficiently, than what I currently have access to, less efficiently in barrels, and less efficiency in water skins. So I can build, I have a 3-star water skin efficiency, 2 for barrels and 2 for tools, so there's really no reason for me to rebuild this workshop. If I had found this earlier or didn't have those blueprints yet, this would have been a great free building to build because it doesn't take a blueprint to have this. But in this case, it's just going to get salvaged. And it requires some planks and some fabric to deal with. I'm not going to do that at this time because I need these for constructing my industry buildings. We'll come back for this. It'll be easy to do later. And then the most important thing in this is the bad event here. So you can see here, unfortunately, some beavers fell probably in the storm a long time ago. Looks like they were woodcutters. So we click on this event, and a group of fallen beaver traders. They were probably assaulted by fishmen or worse. The sight causes anxiety among the beaver population. So our population doesn't like that there are dead people over here in this glade. So here's what we have to deal with. We have 8 minutes to deal with this threat, or this happens. Decay spawns at least 2 pieces of living matter. Living matter is a type of... It's another little node that will spawn that you have to deal with, or it causes problems as well. And then this will just keep doing that every 8 minutes until we deal with it. So these kinds of glade events will continuously cause you problems over and over and over until it's dealt with. Some of them don't do it forever. Some of them like explode and blow everything up around it and then it's gone. But that one's really bad. So requirements. So here's what we have to do to fix it. We don't need any resources. We just have to send people here for some time to work on it. But while people are working on it, we have this, -8 to beaver resolve. It's active only when the corresponding glade event's being worked on. So if we don't work on it, nothing happens. Except after 8 minutes, this will happen. So we have to figure out how to deal with this in the next 4 minutes or so. The problem I'm having is that the beaver resolve is currently at 8. So if I start working on this, they will hit 0 and they will start abandoning us. And so we need to figure out how to raise their morale. So what I'm going to do here is abandon this prospect of getting my industry up and running fast enough. And I'm going to have to just bite the bullet here and build some basic shelters because I do not have time to deal with the industry and get better houses. So we're going to build, I think they house 3 people, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and we have 11, 12, 13 homeless people right now. So we're going to unpause and let them build these houses. We have 3 free builders. Get rid of that. Also get a bunch of nodes in here. There's like a big dewberry bush. Some more clay, some more roots. So you can see we'll be able to see our morale go up once we get these buildings. So they're just working away down here. So now we're in clearance. If we had any farms, we'd be harvesting right now. Okay, so there. We have gone up 1 point of morale. It's probably because, yeah, we're housing 1 of each type of person. So their morale has gone up a teensy tiny bit because at least someone is housed. So their average resolve is higher. So that's high enough now that the beavers will survive me working on this problem here. And I want to get rid of this ASAP. I can either choose to send the results of this encampment, so like the remains of the beavers, I can send it to the capital, get some resolve and some money, or I can keep the goods, get some coats, some insects, and some pottery. Early on, I typically take the rewards, the goods, and then later game, I'll take the resolve, because usually somewhere around here-ish is I'll start sprinting to the end, whereas in the early stage, I'm building up an economy and an industry. So I'm going to grab this stuff. So what I'm going to do, assign a couple people there and investigate, go. So now you can see the beavers are trending down towards 1. So we need to do 2 things before the end of clearance. We need to get this figured out and we need to get another house built, but that's going to happen because the Harpies will also leave us once the storm starts. You can see these people are just working on this, cleaning up the remains. Nice fertile area here we could clear out at some point. Now this guy, I'm going to take the woodcutter down here. And I'm going to have them start clearing out this area because we're going to make this into our little industry area because it's a nice big open area, and I'll show you how we're going to do that later on. But first I'm just going to build a nice long straight path right down the middle here to make their pathing as easy as possible. So we're getting some houses up, so people's resolve is going up a little bit more. Auto saves every once in a while. So let's see how we do. We got 2 minutes 10, 2 minutes 30. So we should fix this before we hit storm, so we will have a chance to fix the beavers' morale. I want you guys to take these trees out. Maybe these two. And these ones. And then eventually this line of trees as well. There we go. That looks good. So they're just working away on this. Sometimes these working effects can be very, very dangerous. Like this, you know, this -8 is pretty devastating if you don't have their resolve figured out. We're really toeing the line here. Building another house, get our morale up a little bit higher. Probably won't bother destroying these later on. I'll probably just build new, better houses as I go and just leave these here. It's usually not worth the time. So it's sort of a spooky ambiance as they clean up the corpses. You can also set priority on things, so I could say, you know, build this house first, and I could say build this road, you know, -1 priority, and you can even shift click to make it all roads. So now all of these pathways are -1. So that would mean if I plopped any other building down, the builders would stop worrying about the roads because they're at -1. So we're almost done here. We'll get the goods. I can't change this now unless I cancel it, but that resets the whole timer. So looks like we're going to be okay, I think, with the Harpies resolve. Depends on if they get -4 or -8. Alright, there we go. So we solved it. So you can see they're trending back up to 11, so we should be good when the storm hits. Now we've got these rewards. So these two people will now, I think 5 points at a time, grab this stuff. I think we got a bonus. Yeah. So workers assigned to Glade events can carry 5 more items. So instead of grabbing 5 things at a time, they can grab 10, which is actually a super helpful perk to get early. That'll free up our workers much faster. Okay, so we're going to get some things in effect here. So we're getting -8. So these Harpies are going to trend down to negative, so we may have some Harpies abandoning us if we don't do something about it. We have Firekeeper's power, blah, blah, blah. The maximum amount of sacrifice in the Ancient Hearth is lowered to 1. This hardly matters on this difficulty. You don't really have to worry about that too much. And fog. So people that don't have houses move slower. We don't have to worry about that because everybody is housed. You can see there are no homeless people. Got a few more trips to clear that out. I'm going to go ahead and have them finish building these farm plots because I do intend to pick up a farm blueprint at some point. Might clear this one out at some point as well. Let this finish. One thing I like to do is this radius here around the hearth indicates where you need to have housing and other kinds of benefits like that. Like if you want to build a temple or a tavern or housing, it needs to be close enough to the hearth to be able to like go here and relax and get the warmth from it and that kind of thing. So I usually try not to build too many industry buildings in this radius if I can help it. So what I like to do is find the edge of that and then start there. So I'll probably start my industry like right around here. So let's let this guy get a little bit more of this stuff cleared out. Might move you back to here and still reach most of it. And then I'm going to go ahead and set up the carpenter. Let me see where the line was for that. Right here. So I could set up the carpenter, have it face the road, just plop it right there. It won't be in the way of any of our home buildings. So our Harpy resolve is low. So here's something you can do. So you see this red line? When this circle goes all the way around to the top, a Harpy will abandon us. And generally, especially early, we don't want to be losing people because we're going to lose a lot of our workforce. There is a way around this other than just the things that they like, and that is there is a lighter treatment button. Favor this species and boost their resolve by 5. Other species will suffer -5. So I can click this, and she'll trend back up to 3, and everybody else goes down 5. Now, he is getting lower, and he'll start the red circle as well, but it paused hers wherever it was. So all we have to do is cycle back and forth between these until the storm ends, and we won't lose anybody. I think I can move this back to here now. Yeah. All right, so now he's dropping, but I think we're going to make it here. So I'm just going to click that off. They'll trend back down. They'll trend back up. But, all right, we're out of the storm. So now we get to pick more people and another Cornerstone perk. So let's look at the Cornerstones. Your villages learn how to travel. The royal blah, blah, blah. Trade routes are faster. Gain +1 to human resolve for every 70 incense produced. And villagers with the leisure need fulfilled have a 10% chance to double their production yields. Okay. So do we want well-rested workers? I'm looking at one of these two. I don't know if I can build incense. Let's check our production here. Pigment. Doesn't look like we can build incense yet. Biscuits, pie, and pottery. Villagers with the leisure fulfilled. I don't have access to that either. It's tough to pick this when we don't know what we're going to have access to. I think I like the idea of being able to do this, even though it's going to be, you know, we may not get the perks for it, the blueprints, but let's grab this one because permanent resolve is pretty cool, especially because if you get to a certain level with resolve, you start getting free stuff, basically. So let's take that one. And then we get to pick some people. I want as many humans as possible because I have a quest for it. So this gives me 4 people, though. This only gives me 3. This gives me 2 beavers. That's also better. Let's take this one. So now I have more beavers, so we can kick out this harpy in a moment. Oh, we have a lot of lumber. My God. So actually, we're good here. So let's have this group here clear out some of these trees, get to that glade. So down here we have our carpenter up and running. Let's flip you to the other side. And then we want to build the leather worker as well. We'll just plop that there. And so that'll be our fabric production. So now let's go into here. We have lots of extra workers now. We have 3, 6, 7 workers that are free to be building and be put into buildings. So we can see we have our efficiency here. I don't want to worry about packs of luxury goods unless we need them. They take kind of advanced things to build, and we don't have any of these. So let's turn that off so they don't start spending them if we get them. Tools are very important, but again, they take things that are a little harder to come by and a lot of wood or whatever. So let's turn that off, but we do want planks. So what I'm going to do is we have 5 planks. Let's pop 2 beavers in here. I'm going to set the limit to around usually like 20 to 24. We have tons of lumber in this game, so I'm just going to set the limit to 24 and unpause. Now, beavers will run down here. They'll collect the wood from the main warehouse. Eventually, we'll build another warehouse down here. They'll come here and they'll make planks, and they have a chance to double their yield. So 10% of the time, they'll make 4 planks instead of 2, which is awesome. And then we'll use those planks to build more special houses. I also want to clear this thing out at some point and get the tools. Might actually have somebody start working on that now. No, we don't have the fabric yet. Let's get somebody in here. The Harpies like working with cloth. So let's do the same thing here. We don't want water skins right now. We don't even have oil. We can use the meat, but we don't want to do that. Let's turn that off. Turn off packs of luxury goods again. And this one is a 1-star. So you can see it takes, say, 5 of a resource. This one is a 2-star, so it takes 4 of a resource. So if we did need to make packs of luxury goods, we would do it with the carpenter, not with the leather worker. It's more efficient. So again, with fabric, I think you usually need a little less fabric. So I'm going to set the global limit to, say, 18. It's a little lower, and we're going to tell them to use plant fiber and not these in case we pick them up. And you can see the specialization bonus is meat production. So if we had lizards, they would like working here, and cloth. So you can see Harpies excel at alchemy and love working with cloth. So if we put a Harpy in here, she's got this glowy border. It's actually going to raise their global resolve a little tiny bit because she is happy. So this particular Harpy has +5. That wasn't enough apparently to raise their average, but it still helps. So let's get them making fabric. And then once we only have 2 in our global inventory here. Let's leave this menu open. And so we need a little bit more cloth before we can salvage this thing. We also want a trading post and amber. Aha, okay, so if the human resolve, it gets to 24 for, I think, how many, 60 seconds? 30 seconds, we finish this quest. So what we're going to do is we're going to prioritize the humans by favoring them. That'll trend them up to 26, which is high enough for the quest. These guys won't abandon us. And then after 30 seconds, I'll turn that off. Going to build some more pathways. Decent spot for that, actually. Okay, we've opened up a small glade. A little bit more resources in here. Mushrooms, roots. We've got 1 person in the scavengers camp. I think I'll up that to 2 people. Okay, so the human quest is done, so we can turn that off so everybody else is happier. And then we get our reward. So we can grab it here, or we can go back into here. You can see we get +1 to coat production. So every time a building makes coats, you get 1 more coat than you would have. We get some baskets of pies, which certain species really like. And we get 2 more people. 2 additional humans will come with each group of newcomers. Uh-oh, that's maybe more people than I wanted. Whoops. So let's grab that. So then when we get new people, we'll get 2 extra humans. So that'll make that easier. We also got a blueprint because we finished a quest, so we got a resolve reputation point. But we will spend that on the next episode. So I think we're going to call this one here. So I want to thank everybody so much for watching. I hope this tutorial series is really helpful for you guys who are interested in getting into this game and don't sort of understand a lot of the nuances. There's kind of a lot going on, to be honest, but it's easy to play. The tutorials are pretty good. So thank you again so much for watching. Please continue to come back for more of this tutorial series. I will finish this entire map and just make that one big playlist, so you're welcome to watch as much as you like. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.